Hi everyone, welcome back to this demo. In our previous video, we created this IERC20 interface, and we also created 6 functions and 2 events. The functions are just declaration, no implementation. So in this video, we are going to create an ERC20 token smart contract, and that smart contract is going to implement all these functions and these events. I want you to know that you have other functions that are part of the ERC20 standard, but the minimum function that you need to have in your smart contract to make it compatible with the ERC20 token is 6. So we are going to create those 6 functions and with their implementation in our new smart contract. So let's go ahead and do that. We are going to create a new file called erc20.so. So in this file, the first thing, when creating a smart contract, is to specify our license. So I'll just copy that. Don't forget it, it's really important. Then the next thing we're going to do is to import the interface into this class. Okay, and we're going to do that using the import keyword. Okay, now that we've imported the interface into this file, the next thing will be to create our smart contract, and we're going to use the contract keyword. The name is going to be ERC20. Now we are going to use this is keyword to implement the interface we created in the previous video. In Solidity, this is how you make one class to inherit from an interface. So we are going to inherit ERC20. Okay. Contract here also should be marked as abstract. Okay, I think the reason we're having this error is because we've not implemented all the functions that was declared in the interface. Once we do that, I believe this error will go on. So let's proceed. So what we are going to do in this video is to create all the state variables that we are going to use in this smart contract. We'll create the state variable, and I hope we're also able to create the constructor. Then in the next video, we're going to implement all the functions. So let's go ahead and start creating the state variable. The first one we're going to create is a mapping called balances. So mapping is a dynamic data structure that enables you to map key to values. Okay, and in this token, we need to have a map called balances. So this map is going to take an address that will be mapped to a uint 256. We're going to make this state variable private, and the name of the variable is going to be called balances. So as you can see, the balances variable maps an address to a uint. So what this is going to store is the amount of any particular address. So we're going to create another mapping, but this time this mapping is different from the one we just created, because remember how I told you mapping maps a key to a value. So in this second mapping, the value is going to be another map. Okay, let me create that so that we'll see. So we'll have an address that is being mapped to another mapping, and this mapping takes a key that's an address and map it to a uint 256. We are going to make it private, and the name is going to be called allowed. we are going to see where this map is going to be used. It's going to be used to map in a situation where someone wants to approve another address to be able to send a particular amount of tokens. That's where this allowed state variable comes in. So we are going to create another uint 256 constant. This is going to be a constant, and a constant is a variable that once created cannot be changed. So this is the name of the variable, and we're going to assign yes. So let's go ahead and create the other state variables, which are we're going to call this one total supply. This is going to hold the total supply of tokens in circulation. So we create another string that is private called name. This is going to hold the name of our token. Create another string, it's private, called symbol. This is going to hold the symbol for our token. And the uint, there's private, called decimals. So this is going to specify the number of decimals when displaying our tokens. So these are all the state variables that we are going to need to create an ERC20 token. So the next thing will be to create a constructor that initializes these state variables. So let's go ahead and do that. This our constructor is going to take some 4 parameters, okay? Initial amount, it is going to take a token name, it is going to take a decimal unit, and lastly it will take another string called our token symbol. So let's initialize the state variables with these parameters, with the arguments that will be passed. So we have balances, so we're initializing balances with initial amount. Okay, so this balance, okay, there's an error here, I'm not supposed to do this. Okay, so the balances which we created here, we are initializing it, we are passing the message.sender as the key, and the initial amount as the value. Okay, so let's proceed. The next one will be total supply, and we're going to initialize it with initial amount also, then the name, we initialize it with underscore token name, then the next one will be the decimals, and we we initialize that with decimal unit, and the last one symbol. We initialize with token symbol. So we have successfully created our smart contract called ERC20 that is implementing the interface we created. We created some state variables, dynamic variables called balances that holds the balance of an account, and allowed that maps an address to another mapping of an address and uint. Then we also created other states variable to hold our total supply, name, symbol, decimals, and we created our constructor and initialized the state variables inside our constructor. So I think there's an error here. Yeah, we're good. So in the next video, we'll start creating the functions. See you in the next video. Thank you.